Hi, good afternoon. How is everyone today? Today, we're going to be talking about parasites. I've been really thinking about parasites in the last couple of days. Let me tell you what has happened. I have been taking Borax on and off for the last year and a half, right around that time. And I would normally put a pinch into my drinks, and there you go. Well, the other day, I have this container that's about this big, and it's a, you could take it out with you walking, you put water in it, whatever. So normally I'll take a spoonful of Borax and put it into that container and then put it in the refrigerator after I shake it up and it dissolves, and put it in my hot tea to cool it down, and that way I'm getting my Borax. Well, I went ahead the other day and I grabbed the wrong spoon. Instead of a teaspoon, I grabbed the tablespoon and wasn't thinking about it because I was talking to someone, and I put it in there. And then I shook it up, and then I started using it in my tea. Meanwhile, I started taking a little bit of Borax and putting it in my food when I cook. So 2 days ago, this is going to be TMI, too much information, but I'm going to say it anyway. I went to use the bathroom, and when I did, I had a little bit of diarrhea. I went to flush the toilet, and everything went down except for one item that was in the toilet. And it's like, what the hell is that just came out of my body? So I have it here. I fished it out. Of course, the water was clean at this point, and I found this most interesting parasite. Just beware, I'm getting ready to show you something. It's Parasite, and I had never seen anything of the like. This creature came out of my body. Now, I have pictures of this in the toilet. The toilet's clean, but I have pictures of it. One end of it is like a needle. The other end is a suction cup. And on the very top is a little hook that looks like a fish hook. But of course, I don't have a really good picture of it because I don't have a great camera on my phone. Anyway, this thing is orange, and the tips are bright orange. And underneath of it, and I will show you this picture because I'm going to put it in there, were all these tentacles, clear little white translucent tentacles, and there was a lot of them hanging off one of the arms. And it was like, oh my God. And when it was in water, because now it's a bit dried out, it was a little bit thick. And here it has two ridges that look like they could be bones, but I don't know what they are. And they're bright orange inside of this organism that was inside of my body. Of course, when this came out, I kept thinking, what the hell? I do not eat processed food. I do not eat out. I monitor everything that goes into my body. And so at this point, I'm like, how did this get into me? So I immediately called Arthur Zanvast, and I said, Zanvast, please go on the internet if you can help me and try to identify this parasite, because I want to know what it is. Does that look good to you? Does that look normal? Does that look like any parasite you have ever seen in your reality? So we both ended up going on. I could not find anything, not a word could I find about this parasite. Okay, so he's in France, and he's looking all over his internets, and he's like, Sonia, I can't find anything on this parasite. And I'm like, it's a full-fledged parasite. There's got to be something on it. He's like, no, there's nothing. There's nothing. It's orange. Orange. So later on that afternoon, toward the evening for me, I had noticed that Maria had Skyped me and left me a message. And she wanted me to look into the PICS, the PICTS. I guess they're in Scotland, or they were, at a certain time frame. Meanwhile, she had sent me all these photos of stone And on the stone were all these pictographs. And she wanted to know if I knew anything about them. Well, I was scanning through them and I'm like, oh, okay, well, stuff was coming in. Then I got to the very last pic she gave me. And it was a stone. It was a Rosetta Stone, actually. And let me tell you why. I will be posting this in my description so you can see this yourself. There it was. There it was. On a 1,000-year-old stone. Okay. It is, when you look at it, on the bottom, there's 2 circles with a thing. And it's the very next thing. And it's got the arrowhead with the tentacles. It's got the triangle body. And it's got the sucker end. And it's like, whoa. Whoa. Synchronicity. I could not find it anywhere, but I found it on a 1,000-year-old stone. So I started looking into this Parasite. And then I started talking to Arthur. And Arthur said, Sonia, there's only 2 scenarios going on here. One, they don't know about it, which is hard to believe because it's on the stone. Or 2 is the more obvious. They have done everything they can to keep it on the down low. And then you have to wonder why. What does this parasite do? So we'll talk about that. Looks like, when I look into the parasite, the one that looks like a needle on the one side would go into whatever part of your body and would inject a neurotoxin. The tentacles would hook up also to that sucker side. And the sucker side would be holding on and I guess drawing out whatever, and the tentacles would be going in to the wound or what have you. It was creating, going into your body. And then the hook thing on the very top, you can't really see it, but there is a little fish hook thing up here. And this is horrible. You're never going to see this. I'll send pictures. And it's to hold on while it's doing its job. So then I started looking into what is its job. Well, it looks like it's, here's the next thing. I'll talk about that in the minute about being created. Its job is to, of course, invade your body. It's a parasite, but it has a specific function. And the function is to overtake here, your mind. And it's like, oh my gosh, what in the world? How did this get into my body? So then I went back and I started talking to Arthur. And I said, Arthur, I'm telling you right now, this thing was created. It's biological tech. Yet it's on a 1,000-year-old stone. Which tells me one thing. We go in cycles. Of course, we always do. And we had high technology at one time to create such a device because it is a biological device. It's also tech. So there we go on that. This thing was created. Now, the fact that it's not in anything that you can find, it's got a devious job, And then I keep going back to why was it in my body to begin with. I will tell you one thing. I can see more things about other people than I can see about myself. I am blocked. So I don't know how we got in there. I do know that they are genetically modifying our food, putting God knows what in there. Fruits and vegetables. I don't think anything is safe anymore. I don't believe so. Of course not. How did this get into my body? This thing is full grown. How long did it take from egg to get to this size? And then I have to go back to the borax. We're not using enough, obviously. Only because I started upping my borax at least 30, 40 grams a day did this thing come out of my body. When it came out, it was dead. So in one of the pictures I'm going to send in my description, you will see the tentacles. They're real light, they're transparent, they remind me of jellyfish. This thing has got to be aquatic. I get this aquatic feel about this thing here. It's aquatic. And of course, our bodies are comprised of water. It's a perfect breeding ground and designed to be for us because we are bags of water walking around, basically. So please go look into the description. I'm putting the stone in first, and then I will put other pictures of this parasite from the toilet and from in the jar to show you, how big this thing is. Look how big this thing is. Can you imagine? Yeah. Terrible. And then you have to go back when you're looking at the stone. Let's talk about that stone now. Maria gave me this stone. This stone is a catalog of parasites. Everything on that stone is a parasite. So you'll have to look at them. The very top looks like dragons, parasites. Then there's round little parasites. And then, of course, there's other ones. Then there's this triangle-looking parasite. And then on the bottom is one with 2 circles and this. So now that you know that those are all parasites, we can start looking at these stones differently. And then it came into me. These people at this time frame found it important that they would take and put this into a stone. And it's not just one. There's actually quite a few stones she gave me of this, like I think 6 or 7, whatever. And they were a practical people, and they knew these parasites were detrimental to them. So they would put these catalogs of stones of parasites to let you know what was in this region. This is what you'll be dealing with. Detox, detox, detox. Get them parasites out. So there it is. And I have really been thinking about the things that we don't know. She also sent me a graph, not just a graph, but a depicted graph where they had labeled it certain things. And I can go down through the graph now and say, wrong, wrong, wrong. You got it wrong. They're not what you think they are. They're all parasites. So there's that. One Rosetta Stone. So you can see that these people were practical. And things that affected them directly, they let you know it. And they put it in stone. It reminds me of, I think it's in Guatemala, where they found the Ica stones. Thousands of Ica stones. Please look up the Ica stones. And they have lasered their daily lives and everything that's in their reality in those stones. Now, of course, the powers that be tried to say that one man did these thousands of stone with no equipment because they've been lasered into the stone. Some of the stone is bigger than I am. Some of it's only this big. So it's varying sizes. No, there was thousands of these stones he came upon. I think it was in Guatemala in a cave. So there you go. We all have a way of putting things in stone so they last throughout the generations and the millennia, if you have to. So this is why another reason things are put into stone. Yes. Talking about stones, we could even talk about the evil Georgia stones. Why do you think they put that in stone? Because they want it to stand. So there's another story. But yes, I, who have a very clean diet, had this come out of my body. And don't think for 1 minute that didn't disturb me. I mean, oh my gosh, when it was floating in the toilet and it was a little bit thick and I saw it was a full-blown organism and I saw the shape of this with a needle on one end, tentacles and a sucker cup, and I'm going, oh, that's inside my body. I can imagine how panicked everyone's going to be when they find out what has happened to them with the you-know-whats, the V's. Because if I had this reaction over this, can you imagine what they're going to be having? So there you go. Please go check out the stone in my description and the pictures. And I guess that's all I'll talk about today. And I will see you on my next video. Everyone start detoxing immediately. And have a great day. Bye.